Uh, yeah, this is going to be a rambling, a rant, but I want to talk about this particular subject. But first things first, I do this for me, for venting purposes, and if you don't like it, please get the fuck off my channel. I'm not looking for any praise, no accolades. Now, back to the subject at hand. I want to talk about this particular subject. Um, I'm going to talk about this video game called Grand Theft Auto. The Grand Theft Auto series. I'm talking about the whole series, the HD, 3D, whatever type of universe it is. I'm talking about every single game in the Grand Theft Auto lore series. There's one particular thing that points out to me when it comes to these games, and that is crime does pay. Let me explain to you. Crime really does pay. You out there doing illegal things, whether it's smuggling drugs, larceny, robbing, racketeering, those crimes, they're going to pay off to you. They're going to pay off for you. Well, what I mean by pay off, I'm talking about as far as money. You're going to receive money towards those crimes. But at the same time, those crimes are going to get charged back to you, because all crimes are commercial crimes. So whatever crimes that you commit is going to be charged to you, aka charged to the game. You know, they charge you with larceny, racketeering, drug smuggling. All of those crimes are commercial crimes, and they're going to charge it to you when it comes to these courts. And that's the back end of it. So not only are you going to get paid for these crimes on the outside world, but when it comes to these jail cells, when it comes to the courts, you're going to get paid too. They're going to charge you for it as well. And by charging you with these crimes, it depends on the level of crimes that you committed. And they're going to sentence you a certain amount of years in incarceration. See, that's why I say that crime does pay. Listen, video games like Grand Theft Auto, in my honest opinion, is a true definition of real life. It's a definition to reality to some degree, or maybe, just maybe, to most degree. Because like I said before, crime does pay. Now, some of the situations may be fake or whatever. It didn't happen, or it didn't happen yet. Some of it, it's how can I put this? It's unrealistic. But for the most part, crime does pay. Like when you look at Grand Theft Auto 5, bank robberies, when it comes to assault, when it comes to stealing cars and motherfucking artifacts and all that shit, a lot of that shit is real. And when it comes to like people like in Grand Theft Auto 5, I think the FIB, some of those situations are very true. Where they had, I'm gonna say it right now, I don't give a fuck if they shut down my YouTube page, but it's been documented. Like for example, what's that dude named, the real Rick Ross, on how a couple of FBI agents taught him how to cook crack. The same thing with the FIB, these fictional characters in Grand Theft Auto 5 and FIB, when they was recruiting people like those three characters, Trevor, Michael, and I forgot the other dude name, Trevor, Michael, and Franklin. They was recruiting those three dudes to do their dirty works. You know what I'm saying? It's like a lot of this shit is real. The FIB in Grand Theft Auto 5 was recruiting criminals to do their bidding. And that ain't nothing new, because, like I said, I've heard rumors back in the late 1930s or early 1940s. They said that the United States also recruited some rogue mafia soldiers, rogue mafia gangsters, to disguise themselves as soldiers to fight off against Hitler and his regime. So that means that the United States government hired mafia goons to dress them up as soldiers to help take out Hitler. You know, ain't nothing changed. Ain't nothing changed, man. Like I always say, sometimes art imitates life, or life imitates art. You be the judge. You know, and in some cases, history shall always repeat itself, and that is so true too. But overall though, man, the whole aspect, what I'm trying to say is that when it comes to Grand Theft Auto, you know, crime does pay. And also it's the worst type of influence that a child should play. You know what I'm saying? Like I don't think that a child at the age of 7 should play Grand Theft Auto because they don't truly understand the difference between real and fake. You know, and I realized too, a lot of these kids like Generation Z and Generation Alpha. Yeah, I said the Gen Z and Alpha, man. A lot of these young kids from Gen Z, like the teenagers like 12, 13, 14, and Gen Alphas, man, they're so out of, I don't know, I mean, how can I put this? They're not respectful towards the older generation, but that's because the older generation didn't do their damn job. So they play at fault with that too. But overall, it's like we dropped the ball when it came to Gen Z and Gen Alpha. We're not teaching these young folks how to respect the law. You know what I'm saying? We don't. That's what it is, man. We never taught. We dropped the ball when it comes to teaching our young people how to respect the law, and it's so sad too. It's like each generation, in some ways, dropped the ball in some areas. They really have, man. It's like it's getting worse and worse and worse. You have the Gen X's drop the ball with Gen Y, and you have Gen Y dropping the ball with Gen Z and all that shit. And then you got the boomers dropping the ball to the Gen X's to some degree. You know what I'm saying? It's like it's a domino effect. But the domino effect is getting larger and larger and larger on the negative aspect of it. And we have to keep that in mind. We have to pay attention to what's really going on. But overall, though, man, video games like Grand Theft Auto is the worst type of influence that a child at the age of 7 should play because they don't understand the difference between fake and real. And they would, like for example, they may go out of their way and get mad, and they'll do something to another child or to an adult, and they'll be like, "Who influenced you? Who taught you how to do this?" And they may point at a video game and all that stuff. Shit like that. I'm just giving out an example, man, because you never know. Children's minds, they're very quizzical, and they learn. What's that old saying? Monkey see, monkey do. Shit like that, man. It is what it is, man. They learn to adapt at a young age. Learn to adapt, and like I said before, monkey see, monkey do. And yeah, man. Overall, in this society, crime does pay. And video games like the Grand Theft Auto series is a great example of it. You know what I'm saying? Like I said before, art imitates life or life imitates arts. You be the judge, man. But that right there, Grand Theft Auto, is a pure definition of crime does pay. And some of the situations that happen in those video games in Grand Theft Auto really did happen in real life, or like I said, or something similar to it. It just is what it is, man. It is what the fuck it is, man. And that's all I got to say about that, man. That's all I got to say. So, yeah, man. So, thank you so much, and have a good day.